All right, Alex, we're back for episode two. This episode
Yeah.
of the Digital Hunter podcast, what we're calling Digital Hunter TV, which is our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit the subscribe and the like button. We'd appreciate it. So anyway, the first one I think was a little bit too long. We're going to narrow this down and get to the quick review of NordVPN. So let's move ahead in the first slide and why you need a VPN. So a VPN in general, right, is a virtual private network. So what that means is you're able to securely navigate through the webs through the internet without being detected. So that it's more like privacy on how you surf. And then mainly the last one. So the three reasons why: security, privacy, and being remote. So remote, like in your case, we talked about, Alex. What would be a case study of why you would use a VPN for yourself?
For example, I have clients that I work with in other countries, and they work with products that are restricted for that country only. And in order for me to access them and actually do my work, I need a VPN so I can access it securely and have no problem with navigation and testing features and giving feedback to clients.
Yeah,
So
same thing with me.
yeah.
Like I was telling you before, I consult for a company in South Africa, and I can't see their poker site unless I'm using the VPN, and I'll show you that after this. So let's move on to the next slide and say, why is it NordVPN, which is the one I've been using probably for 6 years. And before we even get into all this, one of the key features that I think I do mention on one of these slides is that I could use it on 6 different devices. So I have it on my phone, I have
Oh,
it on
okay.
my tablet, I have it on my PC, my Mac, and then I also, my son uses one of my accounts, my daughter and my wife. So it's definitely worth it.
So you can use it in the same time, different countries, no limitations there?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, up to 6 accounts at the same time. So the server network, right? The first reason that I think NordVPN is probably the biggest, they have 5,200 or more servers. At the time we're recording this, they had 5,200 and change in 60 countries. So what that means is, like you were saying, you're in Portugal and you need to get into
Yeah.
Romania. It's going to have something in Romania that you could easily get into. For me, South Africa, and then the United
Yeah.
States, I can goes from different states, right? So I have one in Arizona. I can click on one in Michigan to be in a different state.
Oh, so it's also a state level.
Oh yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah. Speed and performance. Again, mathematics works like this. If it's going from your server, your computer to abc.com, and in this case going through a VPN, it needs to stop at one of their servers to go then to abc.com to cover your tracks so it doesn't know it's you. It will be slightly slower, but again, we're talking about milliseconds, so it's not even negligible.
Yeah,
It's
it makes
negligible.
sense.
You don't even notice it. Security features. So again, it uses the highest level of encryption, which is that AES 256, which I don't know what that means, but it's a lot. And then it does have a kill switch, which is pretty cool. So what that means is I set the kill switch to say, if for whatever reason the VPN connection goes bad, it shuts off all my internet on the phone or my tablet on purpose. So I can't
Oh,
get anything.
okay.
Yeah, and then it has a double VPN or an onion, which is kind of redundant, but unless criminals are out there doing nefarious stuff, they're going to go through their torrents where it's going to go from one to another
To the
to another
other,
to another.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
Like the Tor browser.
yes, exactly. Which is what that guy, I read a book called The American Kingpin, and it was the guy that started Silk Road. He was using that, the torrent.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the no logs policy, which is totally cool, which means they don't track anything. Their company, I think, is established in Panama. So they're under the Panamanian government, and it just means that they don't have to say anything to anybody under any circumstances. So let's move on to the next slide. The experience, again, I've been using it for 6 years. It's super easy and intuitive. Once you get in it, it just tells you exactly what you need to do. And we'll show my instance right after we finish with yours. But like I said, it's super easy. The setup process is like a no-brainer. You just register, and then everything goes through their servers at the click of a button.
In
Customer
6 years,
support.
a quick question. Have you
Yeah.
ever had, like, say, a downtime for 1, 2 days when you had to use it and it wasn't available at all?
No, never.
Okay.
Never ever. Because what it'll do is it'll also use alternatives, right? So if it goes to a server, it'll go to it goes to the closest server to you, unless you pick in the interface, and I'll show you the interface when we're done, that you could select where you want it to go to. But normally it just says, like for me in West Palm Beach, it goes to the closest places in servers that they have is in Miami. So all my traffic goes through Miami and then out to the world. So they don't, no website that I'm going to can see my local IP address, my WAN address, my wide area network address. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to make this a little bit faster. So streaming, torrenting, censorship, right? This is the performance of it. So the beauty really, and I probably should have put it on this slide, is they give you a 30-day trial so you can test the shit out of it, right? So just get in there. And if it doesn't work and you don't like it, you don't pay, right?
And there's no limitation. They don't limit speed or things like that.
No.
So you can trial, you have full features for 30 days.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So again, when it comes to streaming, if you have to show that you're in a different location for whatever reason, or you want to do torrenting, which is mainly for P2P file, person-to-person file sharing, or censorship where, some countries block internet access for whatever reason, like China. So you go through one of these, and they probably would even block NordVPN, but I really don't know, to be honest with you. Let's move on. Cost versus value. Again, if you're concerned about your privacy, you definitely want to have one of these things for sure. You need a VPN, right? Just for security reasons. And again, the 30-day test drive, kick the tires. If you don't like it, you don't pay anything. And again, it depends on what you're looking to get out of it. So the first interaction I've ever had with a VPN was when we built a VPN back in the casino days when I would travel back.
Okay.
West. The guy that I was working with, Howard, built a tunnel from on the internet, so to say, from me in New York to my machine in Antigua, to where I was using it as if I was sitting right there. And that was the reason for it. So again, it just depends on what you need out of it. And then multiple devices, as I mentioned, 6 different devices on one account, which is, again, pretty cheap. I think it's like, as low as $3 a month, $3.90 a month. So it's $35 or $50 a year or something like that.
No, and also for entertainment purposes, from what I heard, you can see Netflix movies that are like specific to other countries. So if you like, I don't know, Spanish movies or Italian movies, you can just click, connect, and see local movies from there on Netflix.
Yep. Let's move to the next one. So in conclusion, again, is it worth it? It's up to you, but it's a personal preference. I think what we're going to do most importantly after this slideshow is I'll take over the screen share.
Yeah.
I will show me using it in real time to see how it works. So you'll be able to see in real time that there's no real configuration needed. And like I said, if you don't like it, you just bail out and it doesn't cost you anything. So let me see if I can take over the screen.
Just stop the sharing.
Okay, and then let me share my screen. I'm going to share this one. Don't want that. We can edit that out. Don't want that.
Yeah.
This. All right, so me going to pokerbet.co.za, I get an access denied. But if I open up my trusty extension here, which
so it also have browser extension. You don't need.
It's not necessarily a browser extension, but I think it's just connecting up here. It puts it in this little bar. So I have another thing called Little Snitch that looks at all my internet traffic. But in this case, so now if I go back to this site, it should resolve and go to the actual website. And again, the speed at which it's going has no bearing on NordVPN in particular. It's more so just me into South Africa in and of itself to get to this site, because their site is just not super fast at the moment. But you're going to see that it will, in fact, resolve. And again, like I said, this is no bearing on NordVPN for sure. And you can tell that when you do a trace route, you'll see that it'll get to the NordVPN server in milliseconds. This is pokerbet.co.za. That is actually the holdup on the process. But also, like I said, you could also, if you go into the United States, I don't know why that's being so slow, but if I go into the United States, it'll find the best server closest to me. And you can see what the interface looks like. Right now it's showing there. Now it's showing that I'm going to be connecting through New York for whatever reason. Again, this is Little Snitch doing its own thing that's completely separate. Yeah. So again, let's just look at normal traffic. All right, let's just go to abc.com. See if it's slow as a result of the NordVPN, and it's not. You know what I mean? That pokerpro.za was not a really good example, but anyway. Anything else to add, Alex?
From my side, no. Just that if you're looking for a good VPN, you have the link in the description. 30 days. Do you need to enter credit card details, things like that?
You might, yeah, just one time. But again, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and
okay.
You're definitely
so basically, you have nothing to lose. If you need a VPN in your business or for entertainment purposes, NordVPN is the way.
Yeah. So anything else that you want to have us review, please leave us a comment in the description below, and we'd be happy to do a review on anything that you think would be worthwhile. All right. Well, this is episode 2 in the books. We're going to start cranking these things out on a regular basis, and look forward to helping you navigate through the jungle. And if you want to subscribe, please do subscribe to the Digital Hunter newsletter. Every Wednesday, we send out a newsletter with informative information on starting a business, growing a business, and keeping a good physical conditioning for yourself as well as mental. And then we also stick in there one meme just for fun, which is always.
We'll need to make a podcast also about health.
Health, yeah. We'll do an episode on health for sure.
Yeah.
Get back to the gym.
Yeah. Healthy lifestyle.
All right, we're good. Let's sign off.